Let's take a look at Uzu, an interactive light show by Color Dodge Labs. This is a great app for anyone who's ever loved spirographs, fireworks, planetariums, lava lamps, lightsabers, pen lasers, Tesla coils, Christmas lights, graphing calculators, basically anybody who loves something visual. This app will be great for. This is what you'll see in the App Store. Let's go ahead and open it up. You can see from the very first screen, we instantly have a fun show going on. And then notice as I start playing with it, it starts changing and moving. I can use two fingers and that's going to change the impact of what it is that I'm doing. And notice when I release, it goes back to the same pattern it started with. So that's the basics of how to use this. Again, just fun, interactive light show. You can have two people on the app at the same time making different motions. So I could play with this with someone else. So this would be a great way for you to do some interactions with your child and make different patterns. Let's take a look at some of the features in this. There are so many great different patterns that can be used on here. Look at this. So I'm just going to flip through a couple of these to show you, but look at this long list. All these different ones that you can use. Okay. And again, they all have the same features in that I can use one finger and move them around. I can use two fingers, create a different pattern. Okay, so huge long list of different ones that we can explore. Okay, so then there's some other really cool things that we can do in here too. Okay, so this is just the background and what we start playing with. Then if I go here, I can actually change the way it looks. So I can change the particle count, so how thick it's looking. I can change the motion trails. So when I am doing, some of these motions, you can see that looks very different than what I did at first, or I can take those motion trails away. The time scale is going to slow it down. The energy is going to make it bigger or slower, smaller. I can do a line drag, which again is going to change the look of this. I can change the particle size. Okay, so now it looks thicker, denser, or it can be a little bit wispier. And then transparency, it can actually disappear, which we obviously don't want, or I can actually make it much thicker and more noticeable, more of a pattern. You can play with the colors, so different color frames, the saturation. I can play with just certain colors, make it more red, more green. You can see lots of different settings here. There's also different modes that you can play with. So I could change this to being, a vortex feature. I could change it to, look at that guy. That is, what did I even click? Not even sure there. You can just change it to look like something different. So this is still the same orbit that we were looking at. So this is still orbital, but now I've actually changed the look of it. I can change, just to something that looks completely different, still in the same framework. I can actually do the freezing. So now I can actually have it stop when I'm stop touching it. This is sometimes really nice if you have a kid who makes a pattern that are like, oh, I really like that. So then it actually freeze frames on that pattern. Okay. I can also play with the symmetry. I'm going to go back here, get back to the orbital. Notice I can go back here, click, and it goes right back to what I had it on. Okay, I can also play with the symmetry. So this has all different features that I can play with. So again, you can see how it makes it look a little bit different if I start moving things around. So I can play with some of those aspects. And then in your settings, you can actually change some of the features of this in terms of, does it go to sleep or not? Can you autoplay? So autoplay is a nice feature if somebody just wants to sit and visually watch it, but they don't necessarily want to, play with it themselves. So I have those features. And then I have an info button, which then you'll see pops up little blue numbers, info buttons next to each one. So that way, if I do want to read more about what one of these features does, I can actually click on that little button and that'll give me some additional information about what this does. It pops up a bar. So you may not be able to read that. The gray is kind of hard with the camera, but what it says is use the options panel to adjust global options. So this is going to tell you how to use these. Another great feature we have down here at the bottom, we also have these arrows. So the arrows will take you back and forth between the different items. It'll pop up and show you which one it is. I can actually click on this guy, and that is going to put me into the automatic play mode. So here again, it's just going to automatically play for me. This button here is going to take me into that touch feature. So now, as long as I touch it, it's going to move. When I stop, it'll hold my pattern. I can turn that off. I can also use my camera. So I can actually, that little camera button will actually let you save some of the images. So if there's something you like, you could save it, send it to yourself. And then there is a feature where you can use the microphone, and the microphone, you talking, is actually going to be what's moving it. So right now my voice is actually changing the pattern. So lots and lots of great features. This is a really, really fun app. If you click in the corner, that will go away, but notice it stays here gray, so I can always get back to it. I can change my patterns right away. Again, notice it's still listening to my voice. If I turn that off, it's just going to go regular. So super fun. You could literally spend hours and hours on this app exploring all of the different patterns and visual, features within this. So just a really fun app, something that you can interact with and play with your child. You guys could interact together, make different patterns, do some commenting. So you make a pattern. Ooh, look at that, kind of have some fun with them. Or again, this could just be a really great relaxing app. It could be good for regulation. So if somebody just needs to kind of diffuse and calm down, this could be a really great app for that as well. I hope you enjoy Uzu and all of the wonderful features that it has within it.